if we are priding ourselves that Ghana is a true doing of democracy, that just recently President Kufuor was in South Africa about the press freedom and those kind of stuff, and the people sing joy and praises to him that he did away with the criminal libel law, and that Ghana's democracy is flourishing, and it has become something like a grooming ground for a whole lot of people, and other people are emulating the footsteps of what Ghana is doing. And therefore, if just recently within a month this had happened to Ghana, and we turn back to see that this is happening to the press in the country, I think it won't speak much of the press in the country, and it won't send a very good image about the democracy of Ghana to the outside world. So I think the president have done something before with the issue that came when somebody said something bad about the president in Kumasi. That's the issue with the high priest. I think the president said they should crash out and those kind of stuff, and I think should be in a better position to come out this time around to tell them that it is the ethics of their work, and that they should forgive him. Or I don't think this is about forgiveness, but they should let him go because they have committed no wrong.
Okay, thank you very much. That's coming from Georgia G with Tesco and MPP here on the campus of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let me quickly go over to Bernard Wachizi, acting news editor here at Focus 94.3, and tell us under which conditions exactly would a news reporter or newscaster or journalist be required to review sources. Bernard.
Well, Atta, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to look at this issue very dispassionately. First of all, since the NDC took power, there has been a series of incidents that causes one to ask certain questions. You wouldn't know whether they are coincidences or they are measured attempts at curtailing the freedom of expression of the people. But what I know is that there is always the need for freedom of expression and freedom of the press or a free media, and those are some of the pillars upon which every democracy stands. And Ato Kwame Nadazi's case, I'm tempted to be a bit biased here because I seem to be in the same capacity with him. He is the acting news editor of Joy FM, and I'm the acting news editor of yes. The media profession has actually got some ethics, and which everyone who calls himself or who sees himself as a professional should follow. And imagine someone gives you some information, and you publish, and you go back and reveal or blow the whistle on that person. Next time you want some information, do you think that anybody will trust you enough to provide you with that information? I certainly do not think so. So the issue of revealing the source of your information is out of the question for me. Okay, I think there are only a few and very extreme circumstances where the court can force you based on its effect on the security of the nation as a whole. But then the question comes back whether what was reported is of security importance to the nation. So that's something that should be considered. But as far as I'm concerned, Ato Kwame Nadazi has protected the ethics of journalism by not disclosing his source. And I think the sources from which we get our information as media people would have more confidence to give us more of such information. But then looking at the flip side, another issue comes up. GREDA, or the Ghana Real Estate Development Agency, whom the report claims were being threatened, came out to say also that they were not being threatened. And I do not know, and I've not also heard if anyone has heard of any evidence that Ato Kwame Nadazi or Joy FM for that matter has brought to substantiate the allegation, because it makes it a bit dicey. Okay. The people he seems to be speaking for says it's not true. They've not been threatened. Okay, so that's another issue. So if he has any evidence, not necessarily disclosing a source, but then if he has any evidence to that fact, I think it will make the issue a whole lot, we can put it in perspective. But until then, I think it's a bit dicey. As much as he has protected the ethics of journalism, he should make people have more confidence in the media. The fact that there is free expression also makes it mandatory on us to be responsible, not because there is we should not be irresponsible and say just anything just because there's supposed to be a free media.
If I recall correctly, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh was made the same allegation, and then insisted that he had even text messages to that effect. So you would wonder why he's not being arrested or being put before a court.
Well, I really can't explain why, but at least he adduced to some evidence. So let atta-Kwame Nadazi also come up with some evidence to prove that what he actually said has some basis. Currently, it's like it seems baseless. We don't know the source of his information, but if he has something concrete that we can work with, I think it would be in his own interest and in the interest of Ghanaians.
Okay, thank you very much. Coming from Bernard Boachi, the acting news editor here at Focus 94.3. By way of information, Article 7 of the Ghana Journalists Association Code of Ethics requires a journalist to protect confidential sources. So at this point, an argument could arise as to whether this is really a confidential source. Anyway, let's leave that to the courts. It's 26 minutes to 9. Amponsa Mensah would have a take on this.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Atta. atta-Kwame Nadazi. Right. The issue of committing or creating a public panic. That's the charge the police administration level against atta-Kwame Nadazi. And we can recall that in 2001, when NPP came to power, President Adekum Kufuor pushing the repeal of the criminal libel law, of which they repealed it, and they gave maximum freedom to the media to operate in Ghana with a lot of space to operate as in the journalism world. So the issue of creating public panic has been issue of concern when the NDC government came to power in the year 2009. A lot of people have been arraigned before court, arrested, called to the National Media Commission to give witnesses on a lot of issues. So I do not think that atta-Kwame Nadazi created a lot of public panic as far as this issue is concerned. Well, I may consider this issue as a selective justice because a lot of people have given a comments and then a lot of commentaries about this issue of being a threat on the grader. We can have a person like Honorable Matthew Poku-Prempeh. Matthew Poku-Prempeh said categorically on Joy FM that he has a text message indicating that the executive or the leadership of Grader are being threatened, and that's why they withdrew their petition from Parliament against the STS Korea housing deal. So why is it that only atta-Kwame are being arraigned before court? Well, when we monitored the media houses today, and we found out that the public relations director for Ghana Police Service were saying that they forwarded the issue to Attorney General for advice and other things. I don't know. I'm quite sure, and I'm very optimistic that this issue they will drop it, and they might not even arraign the gentleman before court, because when you consider the merit of this whole issue, it doesn't deserve the gentleman to be arraigned before court, to be prosecuted for breaking this news that Grader executives are being threatened. Well, the Grader might come out to deny this allegation, but there might be a little of truth in this case. So I would want to comment on the media freedom in the country again, that the media should be given the maximum freedom to operate, and the media houses must also don't get too quick. Every media house wants to be the first to break the news, right? So we should do our checks and cross checks so much and well that it will not create any public panic and then create a problem for any person or any organization. We could recount a number of incidences that breaking news have caused a lot of problem and then bring a lot of people reputation under a question. So the media people in the country must also take a cue from this and then at least